Hi, and welcome back to my video blog on this, the third week of December 2018. I've renamed my blog Cannabis Life Today. It was originally entitled MJ and Me, but that just wasn't descriptive enough. Well, anyway, big news from last week. The Agricultural Improvement Act of 2018 cleared Congress and is now ready for President Trump to sign. The hemp farming provision of the act was included in the bill. This provision removes hemp from Schedule 1 of the Controlled Substances Act, defined hemp as any part of the plant, including the seeds, derivatives, and extracts with THC levels that do not exceed 0.3% by dry weight. Makes it distinct from marijuana and removes the authority of the Drug Enforcement Agency, the DEA, over hemp cultivation and products. The 0.3% may seem arbitrary, but there's a history behind it. The figure first came from a 1976 article in Taxon, the Journal of the International Association for Plant Taxonomy. It was included in international treaties and adopted by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime. It has become a trade thing as much as anything at this point. Cultivating hemp will now be legal in the United States, not just on a state-by-state basis, although each state can still maintain its own rules about hemp cultivation as long as these rules don't alter the definition of hemp as set forth by the Agriculture Improvement Act. However, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration still has authority over any hemp ingredient used in food, dietary supplements, and cosmetics. So while the Farm Bill does loosen regulations substantially for hemp cultivation, it does not legalize the use of CBD in food, dietary supplements, and cosmetics, which was explicitly made illegal in December of 2016 by the Drug Enforcement Agency. The FDA continues to hold the opinion that CBD cannot be used as a dietary ingredient in food or dietary supplements because CBD was investigated as a new drug by GW Pharmaceuticals, whose CBD drug is now approved by the agency as a pharmaceutical. That means that food and supplement products that market themselves as CBD products still remain at risk of enforcement action from the FDA. Many of these brands have already been avoiding using the term CBD on their labels, increasing for terminology like full-spectrum hemp extract for that very reason. Nevertheless, this bill makes the most significant changes to the U.S. Controlled Substance Act since it was passed in 1971. Despite the questions lingering regarding CBD, the now $800 million U.S. hemp market is projected to reach $20 billion by 2022. That's a lot of green. In other news from last week, Senator Cory Gardner is planning to introduce an amendment that would completely transform the way cannabis businesses open bank accounts in states where it's legal. It would exempt retailers from federal prosecution while still keeping cannabis a Schedule I drug, meaning it would remain illegal in the states that haven't legalized marijuana for medical or recreational use. Currently, banks, especially if they are federally insured, must abide by federal regulations for an illegal drug and could face possible criminal prosecution for aiding and abetting a federal crime and money laundering. Banks may choose to service a legal cannabis operator, since more than half of the states have legalized medical marijuana, but the government requires them to file a suspicious activity report for every transaction involving a marijuana business. These rules extend beyond the marijuana operator itself to any company it interacts with, resulting in mountains of red tape and expense that most banks simply choose to not deal with. Those that do pass on the cost at exorbitant fees to marijuana firms, most of which choose instead to work with cash. Thus, only about 30% of legal cannabis companies use the services of a bank. Cannabis is expected to grow to $50 billion a year business in just a few years, according to the financial services firm Cowen & Company. Job website ZipRecruiter.com says the marijuana industry is the fastest growing employer in the national economy. It is employing some 160,000 people, according to Marijuana Business Daily. That's roughly the number of U.S. kindergarten teachers, or 3 times as many people who work in the coal industry. It's no wonder banks want to service this industry and are putting pressure on Congress. Well, more next week.